A very good morning, dear students. Welcome to e-learning classes of Secret Hearts of the subject Business Studies. Dear students, in the previous lecture of Business Studies, we have discussed about the concept of MNCs, that was multinational companies, also known as the global enterprises and even known as the international enterprises. Dear student, these enterprises were the enterprises who used to exist in more than one country at the same time, or the company which operates in many countries is known as multinational companies. For example, Coca Cola, Hyundai, Nike, Reebok, L'Oreal, and Samsung, etc. All are the examples of the multinational companies that we are using in our day to day life. Dear students, thereafter we have discussed about the different features or characteristics of multinational companies, such as giant size and huge capital resource. That means the multinational companies are very big in size, very large in the amount of capital. The second one, centralized control. All the branches, their activities, their rules and regulations are controlled and managed by the headquarters, and the headquarter is located in the home country. Thereafter, third feature, advanced technology. Most of time MNCs use the latest technology so that they can provide the world class products. Thereafter, fourth feature, expansion of market territory. Fifth, oligopolistic power. That means the market remain in some few hands only, few companies only. Next, product innovation. These enterprises have highly sophisticated research and development departments engaged in the task of developing new products or making the new design for the existing products. Thereafter, marketing strategies and foreign collaborations. Dear students, today we are going to discuss two more important concepts of the chapter, that is the joint venture and public private partnership. So let's get started. Initially, the meaning of joint venture. So when two or more firms join together to establish new enterprises, then it is known as joint venture. In the simple words, what we can say, where two business combine together, both the business can be domestic and one domestic and one foreign can be there, then it is known as the joint venture. For example, Maruti, the company of India, and Suzuki, the company of Japan, join together and form Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Now, the features of the joint venture. The very first is the increased resource and capacity. If we talk about joint venture, when companies join together, their financial as well as human resource used to increase, and company is able to grow and expand more quickly and efficiently. The second one, access to new market and distribution network. When a business enters into joint venture, it can access the new market. That means with whom country they are just joining, they can access their existing market and as well as their distribution network. So there is no need to make more and more expenditure in these things. The third one, access to technology. Advanced techniques of production leads to superior quality of products and reduced cost of production. And what happens, it also saves a lot of time, energy and investment, because they do not have to develop their own technology when two companies join together. So whosoever is a foreign company used to bring the latest technology with itself. The next one is innovation. Joint ventures help business to come up with the new and innovative products for the market because of new ideas in technologies of the foreign partners. The next one is the low cost of production. So how does it happen? See, when international companies merge with an Indian company or with some other developing country, so they get a lot of benefits, such as they used to have the low cost of production, because of low cost of raw material, management professionals, chartered accountant, engineers, scientists, etc. So that is why the cost used to decrease. And the last feature is the established brand name. When two firms enter into a joint venture, one of the party benefits from the other's goodwill or the reputation, and as a result, a lot of investment is saved in the process of creating goodwill or the reputation in the market. Next and last topic of the chapter is public private partnership. So initially the meaning of public private partnership, it is describes a government service or private business venture which is funded and operated through a partnership of government and one or more private sector companies. So simply we can say it is a sort of partnership in which private and public sector join hand together. And these are also known as P3, P cube and PPP, that is a public private partnership. For example, a hospital building financed and constructed by a private developer, but then it is leased to the government authority. So it is example of PPP. Now the features of PPP, the very first, contract between public sector and private sector. PPP is a contract between the public sector authority and private party in which private party provides a public service and bears the financial and technical and operational risk are bear by the public sector. Second one, cost of using services. In some of the public-private partnership, the cost of using service is borne by the users of the services and not by the taxpayer. That means whosoever is using the services, he or she have to pay the tax, not the taxpayer will pay tax on behalf of them. And in some of the cost of providing service is borne wholly or partly by the government, where the service user is providing, somewhere the taxpayer is providing the cost of using service, and somewhere the government is providing in some part or the completely. The next one is the provision of capital subsidy. So projects that aim at creating the public goods in infrastructure sector, the government may provide a capital subsidy in the form of, in what form? A time grant to make it more attractive to the private sector, or in some cases government may provide the revenue subsidy including the tax breaks or by providing the guaranteed annual revenue. For example, the toll is the one of the example of the, or the construction of road and charging of toll is the example of public private partnership. Thereafter the next one is pertaining to the high priority projects and public welfare. PPP is suitable for where? For the high priority projects such as infrastructure sector. And further, PPP is used in government projects targeted at public welfare, for example, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. So, the main objective of PPP is to provide the welfare or the services to the general public. The next one is the sharing of revenue. So revenue is shared in some certain ratio that is initially fixed by the private and public sector. And the last one is the problem with the public private partnership. That means what is the problem with PPP? So the main problem with the PPP, that is a public private partnership project, is that private investors obtain a rate of return that was higher than the government bond. That means whatever the revenue is there, a major part of revenue is being earned by the private sector and a less amount of revenue is earned by the government sector. So this is all about today as well as about the chapter. Dear students, today we have discussed about the concept of joint venture, its different features such as increase in resource and capacity, second, access to the new market and distribution of network, access to technology, innovation, low cost of production and established brand name. Thereafter we have discussed about the public private partnership, its features such as contract between the private and public sector, cost of using service, provision of capital subsidy pertaining to high priority projects and welfare projects, sharing of revenue, and problems with PPP. This is all about today as well as about the chapter. God bless you all and lots of love.